That's right, America. We are cutting wheat. They actually started cutting this field yesterday. You can see them up on the hill up here. Right there and right there. They just started cutting today. It's about noon, I guess, about 12:30, something like that. They started cutting, and they cut about half of this field yesterday. And I wasn't here. I had to take the missus home to Dallas and come back yesterday. And so it's my first day of wheat harvest. Get to drive the old blue beast. Anyway, finally got wheat harvest started. We're about 3 weeks behind. Why is 3 weeks behind? Well, normally wheat harvest is the last week of June-ish. Usually by the 4th of July, we're completely done. The weather this year has been very mild, very cool, and very wet. A lot of rain, which is good. It's always good to have rain. But because it was so cool, just like your yard, the grass grows slower, you know, which is a good thing. It grows slower, therefore it can absorb more minerals and nutrients out of the soil, and the seeds can grow bigger, plumper, more protein. Protein's good. Lots of protein in this wheat. So we're expecting a really good crop. If you remember, about a month ago, I had a video about the hail damage, and I think some people got the impression that all of his hail was wiped out. That's not the case. His wheat is scattered out, or his fields are scattered out all over the county, actually in 3 different counties. So he can get one field can completely get destroyed, and the other 80% of the fields are fine, you know. So he had one really bad one down there south of town that really got damaged bad, and they come out and looked at it, and they gave him 20%. Well, they gave him 80%, which means there was only 20% of the crop there. So he had to cut a little bit of it. Actually, he hasn't cut that yet, but when he was, he'll supposed to cut a little bit of it to test and see what the bushels per acre is, to make sure the insurance guy had a good reading on that field. So anyway, they're going to do that, and but about 80% of his fields are really good, really good. Now, let me show you something else here on this field real quick. See how the wheat is kind of laid down? Here's some, let's see here. Here's some wheat that's standing real nice and straight and strong. Let me get you on here. Nice and straight. It's about hip high, okay? But you can see over here, some of this wheat is laid over. Oh, let me get you here. There we go. See how this wheat is kind of laid over a little bit? There's little patches of it. That's wind blown. The wheat's still fine. It's pushed over is all. All they got to do is lower the header a little bit more, cut a little bit more straw, makes them slow down just a little bit, but otherwise it's still good. And they'll cut all this off of here, and we're thinking this is going to be a really good year this year. So with that said, John's standing over there. I think I'm going to go visit with him a little bit. Trying to fix our bunker here. When the grain elevators, those great big tall silo looking grain elevators, when they get full, they have no place else to put the wheat, so they put them in what they call a ground bunker or a ground silo. That's what this is over here. They start pouring the grain out onto the ground. And once it starts making a good pile, then they start building these walls. You can see there's little like barricade walls. They build that around, and then they just can fill it all up until it gets ready to spill over. And that's when they stop and they move the conveyor belt. They move that forward. They make a pile, and they keep moving it forward slowly until the whole bunker gets full. Once it's completely full, they throw these tarps on it and they store it until they can have a chance to ship it out. Now, that is a pile of corn. I'm not sure what's in this one, corn or milo from last year, okay? The reason it's still here is because of all those floods in Oklahoma. A lot of this gets shipped down to the port of Catoosa by Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they get put on barges and sent down to Mississippi to be shipped overseas. That's where a lot of grain goes to. Because that's all been flooded out, they haven't been able to get rid of it. So they're going to be overflowed. They're going to be up to here in grain here in a few weeks. So what you're hearing right now is the fan, with wind and everything. But over here, there's these big fans, just like this fan right here. And what they do is they suck air through there to keep the grain dry. So what they're doing right now, as you can see, they put this big pile in here and they have all this irrigation, ventilation pipes inside so they can dry the grain out. Well, when they got to dumping this out, it was coming up the elevator, and the conveyor belt. It was coming up the elevator and dropping down. Well, the wind's blowing this way. After it come off the auger or the elevator up there, it dropped and it fell this way because the wind pushed it. Well, as the wind pushed it, it made a big pile over here and it pushed the pipe out of line. So they got the Bobcat out and they kind of scraped the grain away, where they're realigning the pipe. Once they get that all lined up, they'll take the Bobcat and they'll put it back on top of put the grain back on top of the pipe, and we'll be back to unloading again. But this is what they call a grain bunker, or just overflow, basically, extra storage. One day. That's one day. I was here yesterday morning doing this, the first part of this video, and they were just starting to get this pile started. That was about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's about 12 o'clock, so that's 26 hours. And they shut down at night, late night. Farmers quit bringing it in. That's one day of grain coming into this place. And this will stretch all the way up here past where the trucks are at now. I'm going to go over and see if I can't ask them about how many truckloads that is. But I try not to get in their way. I run a fine, tight wire, so to say, of getting information for you guys to watch this without slowing other people down and getting in their way. So I do what I can, but I don't like to step on people's toes. Anyway, one day.